The median gym gets 13 leads and only 7 sales appointments a month. That's not enough. Today, I'm going to talk to a gym owner who crushes those numbers so you can generate more leads and sales appointments too. This is Run a Profitable Gym. I'm your host, Mike Warken, and please hit subscribe wherever you're watching or listening with my thanks. Now, to improve your marketing, you have to track 3 important metrics. Set rate, that's how many people book appointments to talk to you. Show rate, that's the number of people that book and show up. Close rate, that's the number of people who book, show up, and buy something and start training with you and changing their lives. Two Brain released top 10 leaderboards, 3 of them for all those metrics, and the averages are 40 sets, 32 shows, and 23 high-value sales. These are awesome numbers. That is a world-class funnel, and that's the average of those top 10 leaderboards. You can see them on our blog. Joseph Strada of Unleashed Strength Gym in Virginia, he earned a spot on our set leaderboard with 37. That was in October. He's agreed to come and help you book more sales appointments. And Joseph, I understand that you've beaten that number more recently.
Yeah, I was excited when you actually had reached out about the initial leaderboard. Someone reached out, "Hey, can we put you on the board?" I saw you had 37 appointments set, and I was excited because I knew November was actually crushing it. So, we set 60 appointments in November. So averaging 2 a day, and still working out some kinks with some of the other metrics, but that one we were super excited for.
Yeah, so 37 in October, and you almost doubled it the next month. That's incredible.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's dig in. You obviously have figured this part of the funnel out. Let's talk about it. We'll help some other gym owners. So talk to me about how many appointments you generally get per month. And I mean, you've just given us 2 metrics. Is that kind of a standard thing for you? And how many leads are you using to generate these appointments?
Sure. So we've got our lead flow has been pretty consistent over the past, I would say, 6 months, ever since kind of dialing in some of our ads. Worked with Colm over there with Two Brain, got some advice from him for a month or two. And, I feel bad because I brought him on. He tweaked some things, and I was like, I think we're good for a little bit, and we're getting leads and we're rolling. So we've been averaging between Facebook leads, general just drop-ins, and then inquiries from our website. I've been dialing in on SEO. Got a couple of tools I've been using for SEO, for especially Google, really focusing on our Google metrics and our profile there. And so we're usually about 200 leads a month now.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that's from a collection of different places, and we've been established now for 6 years too. So it's like we get people coming in, dropping in friends. We have a little bit of momentum built from that perspective. So, is that number you can expect right off the bat when you open a gym? Probably not, but being in the area now and being just more well known, I think through our community, it's helpful for sure.
Okay, so 200 leads is about a standard for you, and then 37 to 60, 30 to 60 appointments. Is that about right for an average?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. And it's always hard to, when someone comes in, for example, they're going to be counted as a lead, and they might be already visiting for that first time. So that's not necessarily an appointment that was booked. Maybe we should be classifying that. So really, you could say maybe even higher from an appointments booked perspective. But that sounds about right. We were setting probably 25 to 30 appointments, I would say, a month for a little bit. And that was mostly me doing a lot of that appointment setting. And so I'm not sure if are we ready to move to like my secret sauce, or should I wait? I don't want to get ahead of the cart.
The secret sauce will come after this question. I just want you to give listeners a 60-second summary of what your gym is. What are you selling into who? Give them the lay of the land so they know what you're doing out there.
Yeah, 100%. So we started as just a normal 24-hour access, open access gym. So we catered to strength athletes for the most part. So when we opened, we were extremely bare bones. We had a couple deadlift platforms, a couple benches, dumbbells to 145, and it was pretty straightforward, like a treadmill. And over the past 6 years, we have grown extensively from actual equipment selection, so having 2 full lines of selectorized and plate loaded machines, a more extensive cardio layout. We've got the kettlebells, we've got the row. People can come in and do their CrossFit if they want to, but we're really, our number one offering is still just open access gym for I would say strength and general fitness. We have since moved more into personal training and small group training now, and so we have a nice hybrid model going, and I'd say our training is closing in to be equal with our open gym revenue. It's not quite there yet, but it's nice. 40 to 45% depending on the month of the overall gym revenue. So we do a nice blend of both. I would say I know I'm supposed to have more of an avatar, but we really do have a very broad demographic at the gym. I've got people who are
Sure.
young athletes. I've got a lot of power lifters. I've got Olympic lifters. I've got my parents are in their 80s and they're coming in. I've got a gentleman who's 92 who comes in and does his thing. Like it's literally everyone from just touching a barbell for the first time to nationally ranked athletes and everyone in between. So it's a really cool mix. So I think it's really for people, our main avatars, people who want something different than a commercial gym. They want the access to the gym or a more personalized community focus at the gym or with personal training. So as far as the type of people that come in, it's all over the place.
So essentially, if you want to get stronger in Virginia, they come see you.
There we go. I think
that's kind of your avatar.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. You can be broad. And obviously, like you solved something that I never could, which is like connecting with the powerlifting, weightlifting community. We always had a few of those people, but they generally went to a gym that was more focused on that. You've managed to do that.
Sure.
Then blend in just general people want to get stronger. And then like your parents and other people, everyone in between. That is a really cool avatar. And I love that you've managed to solve that problem because I certainly wasn't able to do that. ARM, I'm guessing now that you're adding more coaching and training, ARM must be going up.
Yeah, no, for
Nice.
sure. That's been huge. And I we were talking a little bit earlier, how, fluctuation with actual gym memberships. And for a while, that was like a main kind of vanity metric that I would always focus on. It's like, oh, we're getting more members, getting more members. And typically that led to higher revenue, of course. Yeah. But the thing with more members is you also get more cancellations. And so there's this like, you take these hits and being a more open access gym, I think we probably have a higher churn rate than like a small group or semi-private one-on-one training gym, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so, you see members coming and going a lot. And so you kind of get a little not numb, but like used to that. And it's something to stay on top of. But yeah, to your point, we've also been replacing lower ticket members with higher ticket members. And so even though numbers of members stay the same or only go up more gradually, we can still see increase in revenue, which was what we've seen. And now we're seeing both revenue and gym numbers go up, which we love to see,
Yeah.
Them holding hands on the way up. So yeah.
I love it. That's an awesome transition. And now we put the bun on the table. Let's hit it with secret sauce here. So let's talk about generating leads. Exactly. What are you doing here to get 200 people a month to connect to your business?
Sure. So like I said, I think it's a bit of a blend. It's having been around for a while, we've got so many people bring their friends in every month. I mean, it's nice. And that's not even something that we do events. I make pancakes on the first Saturday of every month for everybody.
Do you really?
For whoever wants to come in on Saturday. So we have open gym Saturday mornings, and I'm cooking at the desk. People walk in like, what's going on? But so we get people who come in from, for our events. We did a Thanksgiving hike. So we really do focus on the community side of things. And I'm still there 5-6 days a week. So people know me, people see myself, my wife at the gym and like building the space, and they know that people have that. It's hard because you get these intangibles and it's kind of cliche, like, oh, just the atmosphere and the vibes and whatever. But I do think that it also is a legitimate reason that people bring their friends, and they say they're excited to show off their gym to someone else. And so we do just get a lot of people who bring their friends from just the environment that we've been able to set and create. So that's been a huge one.
I'm going to interrupt before you get to the next one. I just got to ask you this right off the bat. When you cook pancakes at these things, do you collect like lead information, or how do you keep track of the people that come in? Is that like a systemized thing?
Sure. So we've done this for a long time. We've always done first workout free, especially being an open access gym. I know it's harder to do from like a class or PT thing, but if someone wants to come in for the workout, to check out the gym, I always have them come in for a free day pass. So when we do stuff like the pancake days, they've got a little waiver on the desk. They just scan that, they put their information in, and that's their waiver for the day. And we've got them, and they're on our long-term lead nurture list, and they get all my emails and my texts until they tell me to leave them alone. So
we'll get to that part too. And listeners, definitely. I'll just qualify this for you. If you're doing a coaching service, we recommend a free consultation. Joseph's running a different model here where he's got some access options. That first workout free can work in that setting. But the other thing is that he's following up and consulting with people and talking with people. We're going to get into that in a little bit. You cannot just run a gym, have people come in for a free workout and assume they're going to join. That will not work. You have to add stuff around that. So that structure is very important. And we're going to talk about how Joseph's making it work. So I interrupted you. Hit the next thing that you were going to talk about. I think it might have been ads, but maybe it's something else.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, ads have been a big one for us for sure from a
Hmm.
Facebook, mainly Meta and Facebook ads. And I
Okay.
was, running. Before running, joining True Brain, I had played around with some, never really seen a lot of success.
Hmm.
And then I started. I made a video. I think I saw someone else's, and I made a quick talking to the camera, really basic video that I, put some money behind as an ad. And it was just like, hey, if you're tired of, hit the pain points, commercial gyms that don't
Hmm.
care about you, that everyone's just, no one's respectful of the space and don't take the gym seriously, blah, blah, blah. And you're looking for a more community oriented, it kind of just like a very cliche, like, ad. And I posted that. This was before even working with anybody really. And it started popping off. I posted it, and all of a sudden I was just getting, we were getting flooded with leads. It was awesome. And so it was
Hmm.
just like a particular ad set that worked out really well.
Okay.
And then I iterated on that, tried it, kind of died down. I talked to Colm at, Two Brain, got some advice from him. He helped me tweak and also added a secondary ad. And honestly, I've had those two ads just because they continue to work. I've been running the same ones now for months. I
Yep.
think the Instagram one has like 1,000 likes on it now at this point, just from, which is weird for an ad.
Hmm.
Tons of comments, and that's another lead generation. I'll get to that in a second too.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
so every day we get a couple leads a day from that. I'm putting about, I think I've got 30 or 40 bucks a day at this point. I think we're at
Okay.
1,200 bucks a month
Okay.
on ad spend for Meta. And for a while, it depends. Month to month is weird because you know how it works with like a high ticket item can really swing one or the other. If
Hmm.
someone comes in and buys, $1,000 package, it's a great ROAS month that month.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we don't get that package, then it kills, but we're usually at least 1 to 1, but then that for the month. And then obviously those long-term members stay on, but
That's
for a
it.
while, other good months we'll have, 2.5 ROAS on like an ad spend. So it's like, I'm not, and then that builds over time because there's a recurring revenue. So it's definitely been worth it for us to kind of to buckle in and leave the ads running. So that's been a big one.
Hmm.
And then our really optimizing website and SEO. I've got a couple, I do one these things called Page, and it's a really cool AI tool that reminds and also generates posts and replies and that kind of thing on our Google profile. You link it up and it, hey, if you're slacking or anything, it reminds you to do something. So, hey, we haven't responded to this review. Go do this review. Hey, we need to post a new Q&A, and it kind of like dials in some of the, optimizing that kind of thing. So
Right.
yeah, there's a couple different tools we use just for like optimizing our Google presence, but that's been big. I know a lot of people find us through Google now. Reviews, we've got over 200 5-star reviews on our Google profile. So that goes, I've got that all automated now. People getting those after 2 weeks of membership. I check in with them, and they should, hey, can you just do us a quick review if you're having a good
Hmm.
time? And so that's been big for it too. So yeah, just having that online presence. And we have our website through Kilo too. So it's, there's some optimizations there. They actually just emailed me saying they want to make some improvements. So that was really cool. It did a website audit.
Hmm.
So we're going to make some changes. So really just continuing to be a presence online has been huge for us.
So, listeners, I'll lay out one thing or two things that Joseph has done here. He's tracking metrics. He talked about exactly what his return on ad spend is, how many leads he's getting, how many sales appointments he's getting. He knows the numbers. If you don't know your ad numbers, you don't know if things are working. And the other thing that attached to that is he took different, different ads. This one works. We're going to iterate a little bit. We've got these two ads. They're working for a long time. We're going to keep them going. You're not going to kill our winners. We're going to let them run because they're working. You don't need to chase novelty. If something is working, keep it going. So these are important things. The final thing that he noted that you need to do, 4 marketing funnels. He named them all. He's got the referral funnel going with his pancake breakfasts. He's got paid ads. He's got content, and he's got organic social media. There's 4 of those. If you run all 4 of those at once, you are going to get more members, and you're going to close more sales. It's going to be much easier for you. The caveat on that is don't run 4 crappy funnels. It would be better to run one of those funnels really, really, really well and then build the others afterward than it would be to do a bad job on all 4 of them. So start with the one, and I will recommend the referral funnel because it's the easiest one, the cheapest one that takes the least amount of time and gives you the warmest leads. Start with that one. Then start posting on social media, get your content out, paid ads. Absolutely start doing that, but do track your metrics, because sometimes marketing companies will say spend more and you're not getting results. So you got the whole package that Joseph laid out, and I just want to highlight those things for you. 4 funnels. CrewBrain teaches you exactly how to do that stuff, and it can help you do it. So what does your funnel look like after that? So now we're talking about, I come to your pancake breakfast, we talk a little bit about what happens, or I see an ad and I click in, I get into your system. What happens next?
Sure. So we've got, we use our CRM. We got Gym Lead Machine as our CRM. So they've already had some cool automations built out. And we've dialed those in a little bit, made them a little more personalized to us, and the tone, and the tone we want to reflect. And so we have the automation. So they're getting texts right off the bat, just to try to start the conversation. And I've tried to make those pretty normal. Not, hey, this is Joe from the gym. Thanks for reaching out. Like,
hello, would you like to mighty your deadlift today?
Exactly.
Yeah, you
right.
made him good. I like it.
trying to be a little more just normal. Like, hey, are you looking for a new gym? Like, what? And then just try to start that conversation.
Yep, beautiful.
And so we got a couple automations for a while, and this was a big bottleneck for us. And this is where we kind of dive into what our appointment setting has improved so much. For a while, it was just me doing appointment setting, and I don't have a full-time staff right now. I've got some trainers. I kind of hired one of my trainers to do some follow-ups, and it was like very casual, and it was like, well, he was busy one day, so he like couldn't, if you're busy, then you don't get the calls. Well, then I'm like, well, we got 10 leads sitting that haven't been called yet. Are you going to do that? So like we had some, it wasn't dedicated time or attention to calling leads. And so I would do it sometimes and spend 2 or 3 hours on the phone when it's like, I feel like I have a million things to do. And obviously this is an important part of the business, but I also feel like I shouldn't be, so much of my time shouldn't be sucked up just doing that too.
You got to cook pancakes too.
You got to cook pancakes too. Also, man, at the end of 3 hours on the phone of just hitting redial and redial, you're just like, I got to get out of the room. So anyway, so that was a big thing was I knew I needed more time for those calls. And I was like, we've got, I had hundreds of leads sitting in our opportunities tab over here on GLM. And I knew there's just lots of money that was sitting there untouched, essentially. And so pulled the trigger, and I tried before to bring on a VA, a virtual assistant. And I was not, A, it wasn't the right VA, and B, I did not do a good job of managing her and getting operations set and just guiding her. And I kind of just assumed like, oh, I'm hiring someone who knows what they're doing, so I'm just gonna let them do their thing. And we weren't setting appointments, and it was just like not very well. There was no SOPs. I didn't do a good job of managing that, and it didn't work out very well. And I kind of just like, all right, this isn't going to work. I'll take over from here. And then I was trying to do it all myself. It was a mess. We weren't getting the leads, but I knew when I did spend an hour or 2 or 3 doing those calls, we were getting appointment sets. Like, okay, need to recommit. So I went through the process again for a VA, and I used one of these agencies to help me interview. And this process was a lot smoother though. We ended up interviewing like 6 different people, and went through and had a bunch of questions, and I was able to talk to them individually, face to face. Had another person helping me interview them, and it was cool because we ended up all 6 calls, and we both were like, we know exactly who we're hiring at this point. Nice. Found the right guy and brought him on, and he's been crushing it. And it was a little, maybe a little serendipity of that we got the right guy, but I think just being able to interview and hear them on the phone, and someone who had the experience of sales and of appointment setting and to begin with. Yeah. So I was a little nervous. I was a little apprehensive of doing that for sure. But thankfully we've been able to make that work. And since bringing him on, his name's James, great dude. We jive really well, and he's got great phone presence. He's got great text presence, and his conversation skills are just very kind, very welcoming, which is exactly the model we want to do, right? Like you get some people who are just like, let's, can you book a sale right now? Like book the appointment, and a little more aggressive, and it's not the tone I want to set. And so he's very sympathetic, very empathetic, and very, very good conversationalist. And so that's been huge. And so that's what took us really like, October was a little higher than normal because he came in halfway through October, set a few extra appointments than usual. We hit the 37. And then November was his first full, calendar month. And that's 60. When we hit the 60 because he's just been literally 40 hours a week. He follows up and texts and calls and appointment sets, and that's been just game breaking for us.
So the ROI on James, I'm guessing, is a no-brainer.
Absolutely. So that's been huge, and yeah, I just that's been massive for us. So the amount of people that we've just been able to get into the gym, and like I said, you have that many leads coming in, there's easy money on the table, but there's also people need the ask, and you need to actually just make the close. But there are people who are ready to give us a lot of money, and if you're not calling them or touching base with them, and that was a huge mistake. Even just like sometimes I look back, we've been open for 6 years, and I look back and I'm like, wow, I don't know how we made it through the first several years, because it was so random. I mean, to your point earlier, yes, you need to collect contacts and follow up with them. I didn't even have a CRM. I didn't know what that was.
I didn't either.
I was just like, they would come in the gym. I was like, sweet, hope they come back. Like, and that was it. And that was it. Like, I had nothing, and no systems in place, no nurture, no, I'd send an email every once in a while to my email list. That's about it. So that systemizing the whole process has been huge for us.
So listeners, Joseph has said everything with metrics attached to it. So everything that he's talked about has come with, and it produced this number, or this happened as a result of that, or I tracked this and this happened. You start tracking your numbers. If you take nothing else from the show, you're set, your leads, you're set, your show and your close rates, start tracking those numbers. You will see stuff in there, and you can take action on that immediately. If you don't track anything, you can't make improvements. The second thing that Joseph said was he got these great numbers, and then he noticed his system was starting to break down because he was simply just couldn't do all the stuff. He's the big wheel at the gym. He's got a ton of stuff he's got to do. He cannot spend 40 hours a week on the phone. Right. So he realized the system was breaking down at that point, took clear steps to fix that problem with a VA, then a better VA. Now or not a better VA, but with James. And now he's got a great person in place who knows the gym and is keeping it on brand in the nurturing conversations, and almost doubled what was already a leaderboard total of sets. So from 37 to 60 in a month as a result of hiring this guy. He knows he's getting ROI on this. And now we're working down the system, and we're finding out all the things that we can improve. And then we're going to start closing at a higher rate. We're going to start doing all these other things. And all of a sudden, you can see how a marketing funnel works to build a world-class gym. So your first thing, track your metrics, find the weak spot, address it. Joseph, will ask you this. What happens to leads who don't book? I think you said, is James going to hound them and talk to them until they say no, or how does that go?
Yeah. So yeah, it's been another thing, just little process improvements that we're trying to work on. So making sure my staff has when I'm at the gym a lot of days a week, but I've also got staff now that are covering. So if they need to be out there, one of the big things was like, hey, you guys need to make sure we're updating these appointments, because if people aren't showing up, I need to know that they're not showing up. We need to go set them either into the pipeline to rebook, or like you said, we'll set James on them and start hounding them. So that's been honestly one of our bottlenecks, I think, right now is appointment shows. So if I actually, don't hate me about my numbers. I don't have the appointment showed for last month right now, but we're setting appointments and we're getting a good amount. But I had a day last week where we had like 3 no-shows or something. It's just like demoralizing, a little bit. But the next day we'll have 3 or 4 appointments set, and all of them come in. So it just sometimes switches. And I know like some of those leads to begin with we're never going to buy, so I get it. I'd rather them not come in and waste my time anyway. But at the same time, it's like, okay, how can we improve this? So that was actually, it's been awesome about the mentorship program is being able to sit with my mentor, David, every month. And we look at where's the gap, right? And so for a while, it was those appointments showed, and it's still going to be a little bit. Now that we're setting so many more appointments, we're probably going to see more no-shows, but we're also going to see more shows and more closes, from that result as well. But, so we're dialing in like our automations a little bit. How can we, even from once someone sets an appointment, they get now a video from me at the gym that says, hey, thanks for booking your appointment. I'm a real person. This is a real gym. It's not just a spam call. So we've set that at the morning of, asking them to confirm their appointment, of course, kind of as a reminder, confirm. And then we've also shortened the window that you can actually set an appointment to. And I've talked to my VA too, because on their website, if you go on the website, you get 2 or 3 days to actually book the appointment. You can't book for 3 weeks out, because we all know a 3 week out appointment's not going to show. So we do it. I think it's the 3 day limit. So
Hmm.
there's
Hmm.
much higher chance they're going to show up for that. And then, yeah, and I've told my VA, I told James, like, hey, let's not, if the only thing they can do is come next week, fine. But like at that point, let's hop on a call. Let's
Yes.
see if, hey,
Yes.
we had something open. Can we get you in tomorrow? So he's been really good about getting them in sooner, and we're working through things. So we're trying to really like optimize that a little bit.
Hmm.
And then I even just started asking like, hey, can I get you that morning of like, we'll see you in an hour. Would you prefer a water or a Gatorade? And so it just gives them an option to respond. And that's something I've noticed in with communication too is, and for a while I was very passive about when I was communicating with people, like, oh great, I hope to see you around, instead
Hmm.
of, hey great, when are you available, right? So like
Dialogue.
asking a question that forces a response instead
Mm.
has been a big one for me, and I've passed that on as well to our VA. It's just like, hey, when we're asking, make sure we're asking a question versus a statement that we're waiting for them to respond. We need to take the initiative and not force them, but encourage a response. So
Hmm.
when they get to choose something, I remember Alex Hormozy saying something about this, whereas like, when they get to choose something for the appointment, hey, I want a green wristband or a blue wristband or whatever it is, they have a little bit more buy-in to actually make that
Yep.
appointment. They know
Yep.
someone's counting on them. They've already told them what they want. There's that extra couple percent chance they're going to make it to that appointment now.
Yep, that reciprocity is a big, big deal. And it's as simple as, you're doing all the stuff, right? Like, hey, video text, here's where you park, here's our front door, I got a t-shirt waiting for you, whatever it is. All these things that people do according to the two ring playbook really change these numbers. And again, going back to our top 10 averages, 40 sets, that was on the top 10 average, then 32 shows and 23 sales. You're never going to go 40, 40, 40. It's just not going to happen. That's especially true as you start getting into paid ads and a wider funnel and so forth. You're going to get leads. Some of those leads are not going to be perfect. Like maybe they clicked into Joseph's funnel because he got a great ad in front of them, but they decided, oh, you know what? I want to do something slightly different. I want to train for a marathon or something or whatever. They're just not the right fit for his gym or at this time, whatever it is. Some of those aren't going to book. Some of them aren't going to book yet, and that's where the lead nurture comes in, because maybe they need to see some more stuff, and so you educate them, you put that stuff in place, you may get them, but it's going to be unbelievably rare for you to get 40 leads or 40 sets, 40 shows. That's the target, of course, but like it's not going to happen very often, and you probably won't close every sale because some people just
Mm-hmm.
aren't going to be the right people for your business, and you would do well to say, you know what, the gym down the road is going to be much better for you. You're going to have a perfect time there. Go there, and they'll do the same thing for you, and so forth. But again, you can put all these systems in place to ensure as many people as possible show up, and then you start working on your closing, see as many people as possible buy. I'll ask you, we won't focus on this because this is a show where we're talking about generating leads and appointments. How does your sales process go? Are you doing that? Is James doing that? Who handles it?
Sure. So it's down to whoever's staffing when the
Fair.
appointment is set, and so this is actually going to be one of the next things we're looking to improve. I have an appointment actually today to increase, to work on our sales, just improving our sales process and
Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
our verbiage and our coaching. I really like them. What Chris talks about moving through the sales process as a coach, and like we're here to coach people through fitness, right? But also you're coaching them. Part of that starts at the sales process, and like, look, you came to me because you know that something is wrong in your life, and as selling a good fitness product, we know it's great because we're not trying to be slimy and sell someone something they don't need. We know that you need this. We know this is going to be helpful and
Mm-hmm.
improve basically every aspect of your life, right? And so I've adopted that mindset a lot more of the coaching thing, and I've super feels really good when someone's sitting there stressed out, not able to make a decision, and you're able to coach them to a good decision
Yeah.
for them, and have them walk away, happy about it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I've definitely gotten better at it, and then I've got right now two other guys who are staffers,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going
Mm-hmm.
to be starting to go over that a little more regularly, doing a little. We've got monthly staff meetings with my trainers and my staff, but I'm going to start incorporating a little more of that sales process and working on, for my sake and for their sakes, just like how can we close a little better, because there's been many pretty hot leads come through, probably ready to buy,
Mm-hmm.
that we should have just asked for the close that got through our fingers, kind of thing.
Yep.
Or they were ready to buy that day, and then tomorrow, oh, actually it's too far. It's like, well, it
Right.
wasn't too far yesterday. Why is it too far today? And so really trying to get better at taking advantage of that initiative that they've taken, and
Mm-hmm.
try to, again, not from like a trap them into an agreement, but it's like, hey, they've shown initiative, they're ready to buy. Let's let's close it while they're still here. So that's something we're kind of next on the chopping block as far as improvements go.
You've just laid out the help first concept. Chris Cooper wrote a book about that, and also the prescriptive model, that is coaching people to start training with you, right? It's the coach. It's the first act of coaching is getting them to buy. That is, I'll put links to both of those, help first and prescriptive model, in the show notes for you guys if you want to take a look at that stuff. It is great, and it'll change the way you approach business. Again, it's not pressuring someone into something. They raise their hands and said, hey, I need help, and you have a solution. You tell them what the solution is. You tell them how to accomplish their goals. You lay it out, and you say, hey, do you want to start tomorrow with me, or do you want to start in the group? And then you follow up and so forth. And it's a very simple process, but it works like a charm. And Joseph is using it to a T. So as we close this out, I know you got to get in the gym and start doing some coaching and training and probably responding to leads. Let's help some people. What is your advice for someone out there who's just not getting a lot of appointments right now? What can you tell them to help them get more people to click that button to make an appointment?
I think, it depends on where the problem is. And that's kind of, firstly, I think a lot of people, first of all, have more leads than they realize.
Yeah.
And again, Hormozy talks about this a little bit too, where it's like you've got a phone, you've got lots of contacts in there. You've got a Facebook, you've got a lot of contacts on there. Like everyone in your immediate surrounding is technically a lead. And so, one of the new things, we didn't talk about this earlier, but as an example, just trying to get creative about where you're finding those leads, first of all. So people obviously on our Facebook ads, when they submit a form, they're automatically into our system.
Yep.
People that are not automatically in our system are the 1,000 people that have liked our ad in the past 6 months or whatever.
There you go.
So that's actually, we just started doing this yesterday. I got my VA logged into our Instagram, and he's going through messaging every person that has liked or commented on our ads now.
Those are leads.
So those are all people that should be theoretically in the area, that have shown some sort of interest, and they're definitely a potential lead. And we've actually got great interaction. And the nice thing about Instagram, they see your profile immediately. They see my face all over our Instagram profile, making stupid video, making a fool of myself in some way, or giving some advice, maybe something helpful, but mostly being ridiculous. And
I like both. I like help and humor. I like it.
For sure. Especially from a big scary strength gym, you see the owner just like again flipping pancakes. Or I had one. I set the pancake skillet up on the treadmill, and so I was running. I'd like running, flipping pancakes, and it was one of the other guys on it was a DJ table on the treadmill. So anyway, what's the
Instagram handle? People need to check this out. What's your handle then, so they can look for it?
Unleashed Strength.
Okay, check it out, listeners. Yeah, keep going.
There you go.
There it is.
So where was it going? Anyway, being creative. Anyone that follows you is a lead, and that's something David kind of harped on too. It's like, how can we? And so this is if you're struggling for leads. If you've got all the leads and they're coming in, people are visiting your gym, or people are in your CRM, or you have some sort of ads running, or people check your Facebook, your website out. Like just you do need to really find a system to reach out to them more consistently. And I know these numbers have stuck with me for a long time, and of course I'm going to butcher them now, but the first time that someone actually responds to you is like the 6th or 7th or 8th time you actually call or text them. For the average, the average lead, not someone who said, I want you to call me, and it takes 7 times for them to get to answer their phone or something like that. And so being consistent, and so it's hard because when I was doing it myself, it was a little depressing because I'd call like 20 people in a row and no one would respond, and I'd leave 20 messages. The thing is, if you did 100 calls, you might get 5 or 6 people. So like to actually answer, or to whatever. And then you have those, you get, so like the problem is it really comes a bit of a numbers game and a volume game.
It does.
A law of numbers kind of thing. So it's like, you need to have the dedicated time, whether it's you, whether it's a staff, whether it's a VA, whether they've got AI tools at this point that they can do it. And I don't know. I was looking at some of those. They look cool, and I think they're going to get better. So when that comes available, maybe that's an option. But having something to call and to text the people that are in your actual funnel now, and directly invite them personally, sending a blast, email to everybody, hey, come check out our gym, is one thing. But like, if you can say, hey, on their phone, I'd love to invite you in for a workout. I think that really comes down to it, is just really spending the time and dedicating the time and effort and focus onto that lead nurture.
Joseph said it, you have more leads than you think. You just aren't finding them, right? So I'll tell you, get your clients, go through the list, figure out, let's say 5 or 10 of them. Who do they live and work with? Let's get let's talk to those clients and ask them to bring a friend in for a free consultation or a 2-on-1 workout. Okay. So that's, you could do that. That's an easy one. Joseph's got a ton of members. He's doing pancake breakfast, people bringing their friends. It's awesome. That is like, I'll give you the simple plan of that. Just get 5-year members to bring in a friend for a 2-on-1 workout. That's your referral funnel. That's the start right there. The other thing, go right to social media. We'll talk about the organic social media funnel. Anyone who likes, comments, or follows is a lead. And this is a new thought. A lot of us don't know that. They don't have to reach out for you. If they indicated any interest in your business with a like, follow, comment, send, save, whatever, contact them. Reach out. And it can just be as simple as, hey, Joseph from Unleash Strength Gym, what are you doing for fitness these days? Start a dialogue, see what happens, go from there. If nothing else, they know you're a real person. They know they're seen, and you might get them down the line because they're following and they know it's a real person. So those are 2 things that you can do today to get more leads. And the final thing that I'll say, Joseph has said this, build a sales system and track your metrics. If you track your metrics, you will see where the problems are. Then you can improve your system. And if you can't figure out how to do this, Two Brain Mentor can help you. Joseph, has a mentor helped you do this stuff faster than you would have done it on your own? Like David Allen's an awesome dude.
Yeah, no, David's been amazing and been super cool. Even just, I mean, entrepreneurship, gym ownership can be very lonely. And I think not having anyone to share numbers with and share data with, even share wins with, can be frustrating. As I don't have, when I hit a new revenue PR at the gym or something, it's hard to tell your friends that because they just think you're bragging or that, oh, this guy must be loaded now. It's like, well, no, you don't know all the expenses I have. But anyway, it's just like nice to be able to be able to talk to someone who understands, first of all, and being in the community for sure has been awesome. And David's been super helpful in helping me identify every month what the next bottlenecks are and like where can we now improve to let a little more water flow upstream because and yeah, I had no idea what my numbers were, honestly, before this. And having my dashboard, having my graphs, being like, oh, things are actually trending in the right direction. Let's continue figuring out where we can continue to improve has been awesome. And it's been nice to be able to be delegating more things now and understanding where justifying that delegation too, where it's, if I didn't know my numbers, I would just see James as an expense, but I know it's an investment because he is directly bringing back lots of people to actually come visit our gym, whether or not they buy that day, whether or not they buy maybe in 6 months or even a year, who knows? They either getting reached out, they are, and even just knowing that we're not leaving money on the table is nice. Is having, nice to have him for that too.
I love it. And David Allen and I track metrics. Our metrics are we hold the Buck Hunter record at King's Bowling in Chicago, Illinois together. So that's the metrics that he's a good dude and we play Buck Hunter a lot together. So anyways, we'll close it out there. Thanks for sharing your numbers. You gave us a peek inside the marketing funnel of a sick gym. This is awesome. So thank you so much for being so detailed on this and sharing your numbers so openly with other gym owners. You're going to help a lot of people. Thank you, Joseph.
100%, Mike. I appreciate the time. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was Joseph Strada. This is Run a Profitable Gym. I'm Mike Warkinen. Thanks for watching and listening. Please subscribe for more shows just like this. And now here's Two Brain founder Chris Cooper with a final message.
Hey, it's Two Brain founder Chris Cooper with a quick note. We created the Gym Owners United Facebook group to help you run a profitable gym. Thousands of gym owners just like you have already joined. In the group, we share sound advice about the business of fitness every day. I answer questions, I run free webinars, and I give away all kinds of great resources to help you grow your gym. I'd love to have you in that group. It's Gym Owners United on Facebook or go to gymownersunited.com to join. Do it today.